Do you have a brilliant startup idea but are stuck in the launching phase? Are you feeling overwhelmed by funding, marketing, or just where to start? Don't let your startup idea stay grounded. Visit our website at eapla.com to schedule a Blue Couch meeting and launch your startup journey today.
Season 8. Matt, thanks for being here.
Thank you,
We're
Dave.
starting season 8 here.
Made it to season
Keeping it
8.
going. We're really lucky to have with us today Billy Weatherall with Christ Fit Gym, but it's not just Christ Fit Gym.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what you guys do.
We started our free Christian gym in 2012 in Bossier. Got into it. The Lord told me to do it. I listened, but it was a real difficult place to get me there. I have a military background, and you always have a contingency plan, an A plan, a B plan, and a C plan. But when it came to doing the gym, it had to work. It had to work at all costs. It had to work. It was extremely difficult, and it still is extremely difficult. But I tell people all the time, I absolutely love doing what I do.
That's great. But it's not just a gym now.
No, sir. No, sir. We have a couple of companies associated with it. After having the gym for about 6 years, I told my wife, I said, Julie, we are having a hard time. I mean, bringing lunches to work. She was a nurse, so we can kind of live off of that salary. We also have a child, and I'll never forget it. It was Christmas. I couldn't afford to get my daughter a Christmas gift. She wanted a playground. I just couldn't afford it. And I remember getting on my hands and knees and saying, Lord, just give me wisdom. Help me figure out something just to be able to do things like that. And the Lord did. We started a thrift store, and the thrift store really provided extra revenue for the gym. So that kind of blew up. And one of the key aspects there of making the thrift store work is we needed somebody dynamic. And I'm praying, I'm like, God, I just need somebody that I can trust. My sister at the time was she wasn't my wife's a labor and delivery nurse, but my sister was nurse of the year at Willis Knighton. And I remember talking to her, I said, Jody, look, I need you to come up here and run this thrift store. She said, Billy, I don't know, but we talked to her, and now it's completely blown up.
My wife is there on a regular basis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, she's
I was
a big
super
fan.
excited that you were coming in because you're one of these guys that I've heard your name forever. You know, serial entrepreneurs.
Right.
You hear of each other and different things, and you've come up in a lot of meetings, and I was really looking forward to meeting you. So we talk to a lot of people, and my circle is probably a lot stronger in Shreveport than Bossier. Let's talk just a little bit about doing business in Bossier and the differences you see. I know you're recycling places here in Shreveport, so you've done some things in both. Any noticeable things that make it easier, harder, better, worse?
You think about how gorgeous the world is in other places, and I've been all around the world in the military, but the thing about our community is the people. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot of time to develop relationships. I graduated high school in here in 2000 at Airline, and after the military, I came back here, and it's just the people here. I mean, we have the gym. The gym is completely donation ran, and people are so good in our community to support it. We do recycling in all of Bossier Parish and Caddo Parish, so people see what we're doing, and they see the heart and the mission of what we do, and they want to be a part of it. But really, no complaints. I know the economy is bad right now, and I can always see that, especially when oil and gas is down. I have a lot of friends in oil and gas companies, and when it's good,
everybody's doing well.
Yes, sir. They love to give to Christ Fit Gym, and they support it. And I absolutely love our community.
Right.
Yeah, we tell people all the time, this is the smallest big city you're ever going to live in, and I'll guarantee you're only, some people talk about the 7 layer sections of separation. Well, you're probably only 1 or 2 in Shreveport, Bossier.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Somebody knows somebody.
Right.
Okay, on that. But heck, you've really branched out even further. You got a moving company?
Yes, sir.
Now?
So with the thrift store, people donate, and you can call us up. We'll come pick it up. You can get a tax receipt for it. And when people come to the gym, they want to give, and a lot of people can't give financially. But what people do is they'll give old furniture, they'll give clothing. And right now here in Bossier and Shreveport, we probably here locally have about 60 employees. So when we have a large staff, and we also help out a lot of people. We have a special needs program. We do community service for all of Bossier and Caddo at Christ Fit Gym. So when you get a speeding ticket, you steal something, you do anything to go to court, we get to do community service with.
Oh, that's cool.
We've done thousands of people. And what's so neat about that is I get to see your work ethic, their community service, and I usually snatch up the good ones. But there gets to a point where we really can't afford any more employees, and we have such a big need for job creation right now.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, you want to solve Shreveport Bossier's problem, go create some jobs.
And I deal a lot with people coming out of prison. You get out of prison, you have an extremely hard time getting an ID, you go to the DMV, and there gets to a point where the only thing that you know how to do is rob and steal. Well, guess what? If you can't feed yourself, you're going to go back to what you know. And
always.
That's the big thing with the felony. I tell people all the time, if there was federal, I always talk about federal and state, we could hire 100 people over there at the recycling plant, and it's not that hard. All you got to do is recycle paper, plastic, and aluminum. So that has a really big potential, but it takes a lot of money to do that.
It does.
It takes a lot of money.
I've had a lot of people come in and talk to us about starting recycling activities, and there's always that you gotta really have it together, okay, to get that, to know what your distribution is going to be and how you're going to collect it.
Absolutely, and we have about 700 customers right now that we pick up 4 twice a month, and when the market was down, you couldn't sell during COVID. You could not sell cardboard because there was so much of Amazon being at the time. So the market is so up and down, and a lot of recycling companies shut down during COVID.
They did.
You just can't. Nobody was buying the product. So you have different vendors that buy plastics, aluminum, cardboard, and when the market's up, it's good. But when it's down, it's feast or famine.
I can understand that.
So let's talk a little about, because I mean your story as you're telling it is all about like, we're in this spot, we're stuck again, and then pivoting into something else to find another avenue to help more people and do more things.
Right.
Like that is a skill that Dave and I talk a lot about that entrepreneurs have. The people I know that really run businesses and do a good job, they have that. And then the people that do not, that is a very strange skill to talk to them about. Somebody that works a 9 to 5, I'll be in a conversation and they'll be looking at me like, what are you talking, like,
right.
Because they, do you feel like in this 13 years you've gotten better at that skill, or are you more comfortable with that part of?
Well, I think it's my outlook on what I do. So you can look at things in 2 different ways, and you can define success a couple of different ways. And when I started Christ Fit Gym with my family in 2012, how do we define success? Is it going to be by a bank account, what's in your bank account, or is it going to be about what you can do for other people and how I can serve? And that is one thing that my wife and I, we talked about. We were like, we want to make a difference. We want to do whatever we can. If we can make a difference in one person's life, do great things for the Lord, then that's what we're going to do. And that's the thing that I focus on. It's, just making a difference. And I say all the time, making a small difference is better than making no difference.
Yeah.
So we hire a lot of people. We want to take care of people. And a lot of times they say that marriage is 50-50.
Right.
And there's sometimes that I come home and now my whole family works together. I've got my mom, my brother, my sister, my wife, just my whole family. Now I got my daughter, my nephew. And it's really a neat dynamic to get to work with your family all the time. But I'll go home and it is extremely difficult. It is extremely difficult. And I'll tell Julie, I'm like, Julie, let's sell everything and let's just move away. And she'll be there to pick me up because this is somewhere you find yourself in a lot doing business. And, sometimes she's 80%, sometimes I'm 20. Sometimes I'm 90, she's 10, but we're always there to encourage each other. And thank God that we're both not at 10% because we would have quit a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it takes, you got to wake up every morning and just make a mindset that this is what the Lord has called me to do. I know my purpose, and I'm going to keep doing this until the Lord calls me somewhere
What
else.
advice would you give somebody that wanted to start a business in Shreveport-Bossier?
Well, I think it's what you build it on. And this is going to be my personal belief. If you build it on Christ, the solid rock, the foundation, then it's going to last. And we've done every business like that. We have said, we have a smoothie store too. We said every business that we do, we want to make sure that we're spending time with the employees. That's a big thing too. It's about the time that I spend with the people that I work with, taking care of them. We play paintball, we go hog hunting. Every week we are doing something with our employees. So we pour a lot of time and resources because we want to make an impact. And we hire a lot of younger people. I got 2 guys now that are getting ready to join the military. I couldn't be more proud of them, but that's what we want. My success is also on how these guys, what the next step they take is.
Yeah, the why behind what you do.
The purpose, yes.
It is something so important in the entrepreneurial process. And I think it's unique to people that came out of an industry where they worked and then they're going to open the business. Finding that why, when you find people that are built that way, it always said, my why from an early age, Dave knows, was Shreveport. I felt like our culture was falling behind and we needed to do things to catch up. I grew up in Raising Cane's and Todd was all about, being active in your community and giving back as you're marketing. I believed in that and built a company on it. I think that is something that you do that stands out when you meet an entrepreneur that knows that has a reason why they're doing something.
Absolutely. And in the back of my mind, I am 1,000% determined. I am 1,000% sure that I'm doing exactly what the Lord wants me to do today. I absolutely have no
key.
doubt about
That's
that.
awesome.
That'll get you through every challenge.
And I
right
think
there.
too with business is we do a lot of business with other people, and then your reputation and how you do business. Like you said, Bossier Caddo, we're second degree, so everybody knows people. And I think your reputation, the way that you treat people, the business that you do. You can't do business in Bossier Caddo for a long time if you're corrupt or if you're ripping people off. You're going to get exposed real quick.
Right.
That's right.
There's no place to hide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody.
Yep.
You've got to be into. We're all trying to rise this boat, and that's what Dave and I do this for. Is we're all trying to. That's the biggest thing we talk about. Is like, stop competing with each other. This thing needs us all to get under it and push it up.
Right.
We're all better for it.
No, definitely were. Well, Billy, thanks for coming. This has been really good, and best of luck to you and the team.
Absolutely.
Because you got a huge
Absolutely.
team.
Yes, sir.
This is awesome. We want to come see the recycling plant.
Yeah, I gotta go. I didn't even know you're my neighbor.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
right down there.
And, I didn't even realize.
Josh works there, and we all work together. Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay.
Well,
That's
let's check
good.
it out.
All right.
Enjoy the podcast? We would love your feedback about today's show and who you think should be our next guest. Send us an email at info@eapla.com. Also, be sure to share the show and leave a comment on our social media post.